This is the Bob Cordaro Show on TV.
They fought for us, now he'll fight for you. The pursuit of justice and liberty. It's the Bob Cordaro Show on TV.
And now, Bob Cordaro.
Great good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. My name is Bob Cordaro, and this is the Bob Cordaro Show on TV. Maybe we'll come up with a better idea later, but that's the name for now. I'm a native son of this region, born, raised, and returned. I've practiced law, started businesses, run for political office, won, and lost. Along the way, I had the blessed fortune to have 5 kids and about that many bulldogs. If you have a vague recollection of me, it might have been as a congressional candidate way back in 1988 and Lackawanna County Commissioner from 2000 to 2008. Our team did some great things there, but we were always under assault by the brutal forces of politics and area leadership, which doesn't want change, doesn't want you to move ahead. I've lived and worked in New York, Washington, D.C., Philly, and L.A. You may recall I'm the guy who spent 8 years and 5 months in federal prison, 11 different ones to be exact, as well as 13 months on home confinement after that. Lately, some of you have become aware of me as a daily radio host on WILK, where I carry on every day about this great area and this great country because it is being attacked by the same type of forces and leadership which has kept this part of Pennsylvania and all of you down, unable to rise to your rightful place in the world. When you watch the insanity of our leadership class, elected and self-appointed, you worry for yourselves, your children, your grandchildren, your friends, neighbors, and this place we call home. And you worry for your country and this world, which is being torn apart by people who care more about their power and privilege and their control than you, the people they're supposed to lead, protect, and help succeed. And what about all of you? What is it about this part of Pennsylvania? I've been around you and known you all my life. You are great workers, innovators, business people. You're the best of mothers, fathers, friends, neighbors, and people. You're the greatest patriots, soldiers, citizens, and Americans. Hell, you are America. You deserve better, and you need a voice. I tried to do it in politics and failed. Politics beat me. But I will still speak on the radio every day and now on TV once a week. We have to win this fight. Together, we have to protect our homes, our state, and our country. The people from this area have done it before. In the face of everything, no matter the obstacle or setback, you have always created the best families, communities, and lives possible. You've provided a shining example to the whole country that faith, hard work, perseverance, and the spirit of America can overcome all. And now we must do our part to save the miracle that is this country's founding, Constitution, and freedoms. Each day on the radio and each week here on TV, we will tell those in charge we are better than that. We deserve more. You will not hold us back any longer. You will not crush our greatness as Pennsylvanians, as Americans. It is our time. It is our children and grandchildren's time. It's time for our area to flourish and triumph, and you, our so-called leaders, have to get out of our way. Let's develop the tools and voice to make that happen. This won't be like the radio show, however. On WILK, we do a lot of politics, a lot of criticism, and a lot of opinions. For this TV show, we want to accentuate the positive, to feature those who have achieved and have, or want, connections to this region. So it's a whole different ballgame, the Bob Cordaro Show on TV. We hope you'll allow us to grow, to improve, and to bring you more and something better each and every week. We hope we can make mistakes, technical or otherwise, and that we are secure enough to learn, and you are comfortable enough to stick with us. So with the help of God, our families, our communities, and each other, let us begin.
Dr. Bryan Frantz is an internationally recognized periodontist. He heads a multi-specialty dental practice in Dunmore and has consulted, lectured, and taught around the world in his chosen field.
Well, we are joined by Dr. Bryan Frantz, and it's going to be a weekly segment talking about health issues. Now, he's a periodontist of international note. And he's trained throughout the Northeast United States. He lectures throughout the world. He's in Phoenix now. And Bryan, where are you? Tell us a little bit about what you're up to in Phoenix today.
Well, Bob, thanks for, first of all, giving me the opportunity to participate on the show. I'm really looking forward to this. I'm actually sitting right now in the Phoenix Convention Center, where the annual meeting of the American Academy of Periodontology is taking place. Periodontology is one of the 12 specialties recognized by the American Dental Association. And basically what periodontists do are they basically treat periodontal disease, which, by the way, is a major public health problem across the world today. In fact, recent data shows that greater than 50% of adults in the world have some form of periodontal disease. And periodontal disease is actually the #1 cause of tooth loss today, passing dental decay. So, you know, this meeting, we also, by the way, deal with dental implants. So if a patient should lose a tooth or teeth, we have the training, the specialty level training to reconstruct bone around teeth, around implants, and also place dental implants to replace, you know, the missing tooth. So our meeting is actually a large collaboration of scientists, educators, and clinicians from across the globe. I actually looked this morning in my registration materials, and I think we have something like 20 countries represented here, in addition to the United States, represented here at this meeting. What the members, we actually, the members benefit from a meeting like this because they are getting the highest level of continuing education and exposure to new therapies, technologies, etc., research findings at this meeting. The American Academy of Periodontology is recognized as the world leader in this specialty, and we have strong collaborative networks and relationships with countries across the world. In fact, this meeting, we are collaborating with the Japanese, and when we're done with our segment, actually, I'm going to moderate a large session with two of our Japanese colleagues on digital workflows for implant dentistry. That'll be this afternoon. So it's just a really fantastic, exciting time, and it's a great meeting. So,
well, Bryan, you're out there to teach, but you're also out there to receive a major award. And I know you wouldn't have brought this up otherwise, but you're being honored by AAP in a big way.
Well, thanks for bringing that up as well, Bob. I mean, it's an award that I'm extraordinarily humbled and very pleased to receive it. It's called the Distinguished Service Award, and it's one of the highest awards that our specialty organization gives. It's by nomination, and it's based on your body of work within the specialty and within the organization for a minimum time of 20 years, 20 years or more. I have served in a number of capacities as president of the American Academy of Periodontology in 2019 and 2020. And I think to a large degree, I was nominated for this award because of the work that I did along with, staff and fellow colleagues to navigate the COVID-19 crisis. We had to pivot our entire organization and workflow to deal with that. I mean, being president of a national healthcare organization during a health crisis, arguably the biggest health crisis of our lifetime, was no small feat. We had to provide safe work environment for our staff based in Chicago. We put together the first annual meeting that was completely virtual. I mean, we have thousands of people from across that meeting was with the Japanese as well. And so to put together an international meeting of this scope virtually, it had never been done before, but we did it. And we did it to a very high level.
Well, we've got you all back together now. And Bryan, you're out there to receive this prestigious award. You practice here with offices in Dunmore, multi-specialty practice. And I'm so glad you've joined this show to sort of be our health expert. And in coming weeks, we're hoping to talk to you and have you bring health issues to us and to the people of Northeast and Central Pennsylvania of all kinds, not just periodontal, quite obviously, but how they all interrelate, how our medical community is doing, how our healthcare community is doing, and what is available. But I think it's important to note that, here's an internationally renowned doctor who is going to bring us information each week on this show. And I'm so pleased you're willing to do this.
I mean, I am too. I think, we've got almost an endless array of topics to discuss, both dental and non-dental. And in today's world, with patients living longer and maintaining their teeth longer and living with all kinds of medical issues, comorbidities, if you will, I think it's good. And I'm looking forward to bringing the latest knowledge, the latest therapies, latest technologies to our patients in Northeastern Pennsylvania.
Well, best wishes to the rest of the conference. I think it's great that you're going to receive this incredible award, and we look forward to talking to you next week about another health issue that affects the people of Northeast and Central Pennsylvania. Dr. Bryan Frantz, thank you.
Thanks, Bob.
And now, the Sunday Brunch Power Player of the Week on the Bob Cordaro Show.
It's like an invasion of my privacy, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's intrusive, He's got pictures of your whole inner circle. Pictures, names of the people. You know what he's trying to do? Exactly what he's doing. Look at yourself. He's trying to rattle you. He's trying to rattle your old lady so she nags you until you become a witness. Or he wants me to rat on myself. He wants me to give information about my... Well, listen, the good news is, I know everybody downtown. I call up the Justice Department, the DEA. Nobody even knows you exist, so calm down. They don't know I exist? No. That's good. You know who he is, right? Yeah. So if I just wanted to get some more information, like just find out what he knows. I mean, you could go to his house, right? Tap his phones a little bit, bug him. You could get some information. You don't with these guys like that. You don't with them like that. What are you, nuts or something? That's what you do. What do I pay you for? I have a PI license, I make a living at this. I'm not a cop anymore. They'll take my license away from me, all right? Okay. Okay, if I can't do that, can I give the guy a call? Why? Is that Jordan, do me a favor. The only one that calls this guy is your lawyer. I can't. You know what you do? Right? I told you. The rules. Whatever you say to him, he's going to use against you. Don't you understand? He's smart. You're dumb. I'm not allowed to talking tonight, or you're going to get swapped. The last time you took these pills, you put your head in macaroni out to pick it up. All right. Okay, I won't call.
Well, Bo Dietl's on the phone.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. Hey, Bo, what's going on? Jordan, listen to me clearly. I cannot talk to you on this phone. I have to talk to you.
Get out of here. What's going on?
Listen to me. Leave the house, Jordan, and then call me from a payphone. This is not a joke, Jordan. Yeah.
That was Bo Dietl playing himself in The Wolf of Wall Street. It's one of those things that only could happen to Bo Dietl. And he pulled it off, and it was funny. It was, I don't know, Bo, it was just great. I really enjoyed your role in the movie, and you played yourself. That must have been a little bit difficult, actually.
Not really. It was just funny that we had dinner up at Rayo's, and many times with the real Jordan Belfort, the guy was a freak with these Quaaludes. So he actually fell asleep in his macaroni. We had to pick his head out of there. I was bodyguarding him with my company. We were doing investigations because he was a little creep. He robbed over 200 and something thousand from people with their life savings, put them in this pump and dump stuff. He wasn't a good guy. And then he was very lucky to have the greatest actor, Leonardo DiCaprio, play him, greatest director with my friend Martin Scorsese. And then we asked Frankie if we could film it in Rayo's, which we filmed it in Rayo's, some of the scenes together. And it wasn't hard to play myself because I looked at Leo and I looked at him like the guy I don't like, the real Wolf of Wall Street, Jordan Belfort, who was not a good guy, and he still should be in jail. He robbed over 220 million.
Yeah.
Excuse me. He paid back 12 million. Now he's flying around private jets. Something's wrong with that picture, you know?
Well, that would for a lot of people be the culmination of their movie career. But I want to take you back. For the people of Northeast Central Pennsylvania, where did you grow up? Tell us a little bit about the early beginnings of Bo.
I grew up in Ozone Park. I grew up with John Gotti Sr., Ralphie and Joey Scopo, all the gangsters and all that. But my father was a very strict man. And when he told me I was home at 9 o'clock, I was home at 9 o'clock. They would be going to Idlewild Airport. That's what it was called then. They'd be doing some shopping. And I knew that I had to be back. Otherwise, my father used to take the belt buckle off. And FD, Frank Dietl, his imprint was on my butt. And as far as it goes there, my dad was strict. And you know what? In my book, One Tough Cop, I said to my father, thank you, who I only got to know after I became a man. He kept me from going that way. And he kept me about my respect for people, honesty and all that. And I think he pounded it into me with the belt, which I needed. I was a tough kid. And I grew up with him. But then as I became a cop, I was always Bo the cop otherwise. Let me
ask a question. Before you became a cop, you worked on the World Trade Center.
Yeah, I worked, first of all, I went in as a concrete laborer, Union 6A, and then I went with a book to Local 40, was a book for the iron workers, and I worked on the World Trade Center on Tower A and Tower B. And then I became a cop. I never really wanted to be a cop, and then it all happened on the Academy roof. I saw a guy going up a fire escape, and he wasn't a fireman. I chased him for about 5 blocks, and he had stolen some diamond rings, and the rest is history. And I became a decoy. I got mugged 500 times, stabbed, shot at, hospitalized 30 times. I had a great career, and I never thought I'd ever retire for the police department. And then I broke my leg skydiving with a bunch of Arab princes. It's a long story. Read about it in One Tough Cop.
And you were being their bodyguard. You were watching out for them and had to participate in their craziness, right?
No. With the Arabs, it was just funny. I was a New York State arm wrestling champion. So they used to bring me to Marbella, to London, to Paris, and I would arm wrestle these big Lebanese bodyguards, 300-pound guys, big arm. And I was an arm wrestling champion, so I knew how to do it. I had the technique down, so I'd beat everybody. So they used to bet money on me, and that was why I wasn't really a bodyguard. I was arm wrestling people.
Okay, so now you're in the midst of a really decorated career. The media picks up on who this Bo Dietl is, and then you solve a brutal attack on a nun. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, that was one with the rape of a Roman Catholic nun in a convent. In 1981, they carved 27 crosses. It was labeled, my partner, Tom Collar, and I broke that case. By ourselves, it was labeled by Ed Koch as the most heinous crime in New York history. And they had 200 detectives assigned to it. Tommy and I weren't part of their team. We went on our own. We got one in Chicago, one in New York. And our reward was, because the chief of detectives wasn't able to say that he broke the case, they shipped me to one end of Brooklyn and Tommy the other end. And little did they know, they put me in a killing field, which I became a homicide detective. And then I went out and locked up all the murderers. And then we had this one big case. And I was part of a great team of detectives. I didn't do it by myself, When I was named as the arresting officer, it was called the Palm Sunday Massacre. 10 dead, 8 children under the age of 12. And I'm all over the newsreels, front page every paper. I was the arresting officer in the case, one of the arresting officers, but my picture was with the El Creepo there. And the next thing is, the Arabs were in town there at the Helmsley Palace. They go, Bo, you're so famous. I was supposed to get promoted the next day to get the grade, the detective grade. And I took off with them on a 727. We went to La Jolla, California. We had a big party to celebrate. Next thing is they had me jumping out of a plane. Bad move. No, that was probably my best break of my life. I broke my leg in half. My ankle got ripped out. Everything went. So when I came back to New York, I wanted to go back to full duty. And they said, put it this way, they want to get me out of the force. They said you were going to be on light duty. I said, I'm not being on light duty, nothing. Either you put me back to full duty or I'm out of here. Now, I had 30 line of duty injuries. I could have got tax-free money, 3/4 tax-free. But I didn't want to play the game for a half a year to year to do this. I was so depressed about them not letting me go back to full duty. I threw my papers and I lost probably, I estimate, maybe $2 million for doing that over the course of from when I retired. But I did what I had to do. Then Nicholas Pileggi put me on the cover of New York Magazine, and that's the rest is history.
Wow.
That was the article that catapulted me into fame.
Was your first movie role in Goodfellas when you arrested Ray Liotta?
Nope.
What was before?
My first, I have to laugh. I started doing a Morton Downey show. I started doing Geraldo Rivera. Everybody wanted Bo Dietl. Everybody. I got a call from Ron Perlman. He wanted me to be his director of security. Everybody knew I had this Rayo's table, so they all wanted to be my friend. And then I get a call I met with Pacino. I met with Sylvester Stallone. Everybody wanted to play Bo Dietl, one tough cop, all that crap. Next thing is, I get a phone call. We'd like you to be in this movie, Maniac Cop. So I said, yeah. So then I started doing these little bit parts. They were calling me up. Never had an agent or anything. Everybody kept calling me. And then when Goodfellas, Nick Pileggi writes the book, Wise Guy, we're having dinner at Rayo's with Martin Scorsese, Ellen Lewis, casting director, Ray Liotta, Lord God rest his soul, and Ray Bracco, and all the characters of Rayo's were up there. Petey Neck, Johnny Roastbeef, Mikey Black, Frankie Knows, all these guys. Next thing, Scorsese looks at the bar and he goes, Bo, can we come back next week? Anybody who wants to be in the movie, Goodfellas, come and show up. We casted 16 people out of there, including Frankie, my friend who owned Rayo's, and Tony Lip. And we did Goodfellas, and the casting was done, a lot of the casting was done out of Rayo's.
Fantastic. So Bo Dietl, your career continues. Scorsese falls in love with you. He wants you on every project, it seems, certainly every project that fit. And then comes a time when you're doing it was actually De Niro's movie, The Irishman, and they cast Bo Dietl in that movie. And that has a lot of local significance because one of the key characters that Joe Pesci plays is Russell Buffalino, a Northeast Pennsylvania mobster. And you were part of that film as well.
Well, it's funny because Mr. Scorsese, that I call Mr. Matter of fact, I'm going to his 80th surprise birthday party next Wednesday. He'll be 80 years old. Wow. So Mr. Scorsese started putting me in Goodfellas. We did the vinyl thing for HBO, vinyl. And then we went and we did the Wolf of Wall Street and then The Irishman. Now, The Irishman, Nick Pileggi was involved with that, writing that also. So when I casted for it with Ellen Lewis, the famous casting director, they put you on tape. I made sure I had the part down. And next thing is they cast me for this part. I have, I think, 5 or 6 scenes, great scenes with De Niro and Pacino. And I kind of like control scenes with these great actors. Yeah. Probably is the greatest part of acting I've ever done.
Well, Bo, we don't have time to go into all this. We're going to finish with a great clip from The Irishman. You with the watermelons with both Pacino and De Niro. And it's just fabulous. It's a great way to close the interview. Thank you so much. We're going to do this again, Bo, okay? There's so much to tell. and our show's too brief, but we're so happy you joined the Bob Cordaro Show.
Bob, thank you very much. And you know what? I'm very proud of you. I'm so happy for your success. And people should listen to you, Bob. You know life better than anybody. And I have a lot of respect for you. You're the man.
Love you, man. Bob. Thank you. Thank you. Bo Dietl. Bo Dietl, Power Brunch Player of the Week.
There's one thing about Jimmy. Don't ever make him wait. If you make a meeting with him, you get there on time. Better yet, get there early. I can't stress this enough. His problem is that time is of essence, and that's the important thing. I gotta tell you one more thing. Jimmy doesn't drink. Yeah, the head of the largest trucking union in the world, he don't drink. The worst part about it is he doesn't allow anybody to drink around him. Another thing about him, Jimmy hates watermelon. Well, we're gonna like watermelon. Jimmy, you should have seen it. Sinking in the water, one by one. I bet you when they woke up the next morning, those cab drivers, they went to look for their cabs. They didn't know what the hit them.
That's a great idea, Joey. Great idea.
Well, it wasn't my idea. My man Frank. It was his idea. Let me tell you something. Frank hit that pier. He took over the pier. Whatever he told them to do, whatever he said, they did it. You know, I never seen a guy walk through a crowd like he does. He doesn't touch a person. Everybody gets out of the way. I'm not kidding you. I swear. Guys he never met in his life. You know what it was like? Like Moses. Remember Moses? When he walked into the ocean there, sea, whatever it was, and it opened up? That's him. I'm telling you. Jimmy, he's got it.
So, what do you think? You need him a couple of days more?
Yeah, we got to clear up a few drips and drabs.
You guys sure like watermelon.
Want a bite?
Not on your life.
Your Sunday Brunch Power Player of the Week on the Bob Cordaro Show. Join us every week for the Sunday Brunch Power Player of the Week.
One of the most interesting things, at least to me, that I do on my radio show each day is a tribute to veterans. And we're gonna carry that on in this television show, maybe a little differently. May not salute individual veterans. We may salute groups of veterans because we're only doing this once a week. But the first thought I had regarding saluting veterans was a book that sort of started it all on the radio show. Lackawanna County's Fallen 56. And it's about 56 of our men and women from Lackawanna County who were killed during the Vietnam conflict. Jason Amico wrote it. It is an outstanding compilation of who these people were, how they were important to this community, and it meant so much to me to talk about them every day. And I wanted to start off this show by featuring this book. Well, that's it for this week. We appreciate you being with us. We hope you'll join us next week, and we'll be with you every Sunday at 11:30 here on WNEP TV. The Bob Cordaro Show on TV.
Thanks for being part of the program. You've got an appointment every Sunday morning at 11:30 right here on WNEP TV. The Bob Cordaro Show on TV.